Kyle, you know what today is? Episode 600 of the Automotive Troublemaker. We've done this 600 times, so we got to make it count. So we're talking about GM and valuations and Wegmans. You got to do
Making it count. Making it count. I like it.
Dude, 600 episodes. That is a lot of podcasts, my friend.
It is so... I can't even wrap my head around that. I mean, we've just been doing it, faithfully for 2 years now. I remember back when Glenn Lundy did his 1000th episode, and I was like, how do you ever do that? I'm
on our way.
We just do this another year.
Got a ways to go. That's it. Well, that gets to 1,000. I mean, I guess if you add in a year. I wonder how many podcasts we've done, because 600 episodes of this show, but then there's obviously Auto Collabs, ASOTU sessions, and there's another one in there. What is it? In the Dirt.
In the Dirt.
I mean, we do some podcasts. So I don't know. We're making our way to 10,000 hours. We'll be experts someday, just in time
one of these days
to retire. But hey, we're so thankful if you've spent any time at all with us. If you're a new listener, or if you've been a listener for a long time, it doesn't ever go unnoticed that you would show up and listen to these two idiots every day.
It's a big deal. Like, if you are just one person just hanging out in your car or at work or watching this on LinkedIn, I don't care who you are. Like, it's important to us and valuable that you just check in and share this time with us. So
thank you so much for the congratulations on the live stream. If you didn't know, we live stream a video version of this audio podcast every single day. And also, if you didn't know, we audio podcast this live stream every single day. So if you don't have the audio version, actually head over to Apple Music or Spotify and subscribe to the podcast, rate it, review it. Let us know what you think. Little comment helps always. And we just want to make this community of people paying attention to the industry and to one another just a little bit bigger every day. One of the things we're doing to do that is actually offering a lot of free education through the ASOTU ecosystem. We're doing that right now through very short burst webinars, so 20 to 30 minute format. So much fun. We try to give you something to talk about, something to learn, and then you get on with your day. Our next one is December 13th with our friends at Upstart, transforming car buying, the power of connected auto retailing. So we're going to learn a little bit about what it is to have all the things connected, how we can implement that practically, operationally, and always have a little bit of fun. And we take questions too.
We do take questions.
Real-time questions. What's better than that? It's a two-way conversation. Oh, okay. So let's get into some news, because that's what we do. I'm trying to think of a segue into the story, but there really isn't one. So, but this is like, okay, let's just get into the story. We'll give commentary after the story. General Motors emerges from a very costly 6-week UAW strike, projecting strong profits for 2023. Despite the increased labor costs, GM strategic planning and big-time stock buyback indicate a robust financial future. So basically, GM has said that they suffered a $1.1 billion hit due to the strike. However, still forecasts roughly $9 to $9.7 billion net income. For 2023. As a result, they're going to be buying back $10 billion worth of stock and giving a 33% increase in dividends for shareholders, obviously reflecting big-time financial health. New contracts with UAW and the raises are going to cost about $1.5 billion by 2024. They've built that in, apparently, and their stock price jumped almost 9% in pre-market trading, signaling, of course, investor optimism. Mary Barr said, "I'm confident in our ability to continue generating significant free cash flow as we make the EV transition."
That statement right there is at the crux of every investor question now. These legacy OEMs. And so the confidence to be able to say that and then be able to make these moves on stock buybacks and dividend increases alongside of the UAW negotiations, like, that's why they're up almost 9% in pre-market trading, because those type of words, that type of confidence coming in from General Motors, big deal. I'm interested to see what the next few months from them look like, because if I had to guess, there's more coming down the pipe that they're about to lean on, because you don't just start this train rolling and not keep it going.
There's some other indicators that, I mean, you think of what leads to projected big profits. They're obviously scaling back EV production and getting much more thoughtful about it. Also, kind of like a parallel story, like lithium prices are down 80%.
Whoa.
80%. I saw it this morning. I was like, oh, we didn't have room in the show for it. But yeah, and you watch the lithium price increase curve. It goes way up over the last couple of years and it's way down almost to where it started. So, I mean, like, obviously, that's a major factor in manufacturing. And GM, I wonder how Sean Fain feels about this.
He's like, wait a second.
They got to be really happy. I feel like this.
They're fine.
I mean, I don't think we could have predicted a better outcome, right? Like all the workers, big raise, GM very strong. I think that's good for everybody.
It's good for auto. It's just good for auto.
Sure is. That's good news. Speaking of good news.
Stop. Segue.
Time. Okay, despite a dip in dealership values in 2023, so they went down a little bit, the market remains robust with dealership buy-sell activity significantly higher still than pre-pandemic levels, as reported by our friends over at Hague Partners. So basically, they say blue sky values have decreased 12% since 2022, but are still over double what they were in pre-pandemic, and on track to be the third most active year in dealership transactions. I believe last year was the busiest year, and the year before that was the second most, I think. So far, 385 transactions through the end of Q3. High demand persists for dealers in fast-growing regions with they call pro-business climate. So you think South Florida, publicly traded dealer groups saw a 92% drop in dealership acquisition spending, but overall spending remains high. The brand with the most people interested is, Kyle, you can guess this one.
Toyota.
Hey, Alan Hague, founder of Hague Partners, says, we are past the UAW strike, which did not have a terrible effect on dealers. Inflation is declining. GDP is growing faster than expected. Employment is rising steadily, and a significant recession, which was predicted by many, if not most, economists, seems less likely each month. We are confident dealers can expect strong values for 2023 and 2024. That also sounds like good news.
That's great news. This is what's interesting to me because like there's this like mix of news right now. You know, the dealer sentiment is that leads are down, sales are down, the market is turning
Tighten
down.
the belt.
We're seeing the market turning down in housing, yet we're still seeing strong valuations. We're seeing this track of like, hey, inflation is declining. It seems like we're going to still be growing. There's still opportunity with inventory now being on ground, and there's still sideline buyers. If we can right side the interest rate issue, then affordability gets a lot cleaner. I'm really interested to see what over the next 90 days, and I think this will be a heavy topic when we roll into NADA, what is actually happening, because the next 60 is going to mean a lot to what 2024 looks like. And so I think NADA is going to be like, nobody's going to be looking over the last 6 months at NADA. Everybody's going to be looking at the right now. And there may be a turn in actually increased transactions because we might see slightly lower valuations with higher projections into later 2024. So I'm interested to see what the play there is, but it is still good news coming from the old Hague friends over there.
It was. I was actually on the ground at a dealership group yesterday, and right before, like the very beginning of 2020, whenever the pandemic was just starting to lay in, they actually bought 6 stores, and they had this perception like, hey, when everybody leans out, we're going to lean in. And they bought 3 Hyundai stores and 3 Kia stores. And just think of how happy they're sitting right now.
They're
real happy with the way valuations are going now, but they also were talking about heading into this season where everyone is tightening their belts and kind of getting a little pensive. They were like, we're leaning in. We're increasing our marketing spend. We're increasing our allocations because they understand that market share is what you have to win at the end of the next 12 to 24 months, where a lot of people are getting nervous.
This will be, it won't be exactly the same, but very similar to early pandemic timelines where everybody pulled back on marketing, pulled back on spend, pulled back on inventory because they out of fear. And there will be a subset of dealers that say, we're going to go capture the market share, both in ad spend and in vehicles sold, and buy everything cheaper for that.
That's right. Speaking of buying things cheaper.
Stop. Segue.
Time.
All right. So we got Wegmans which a lot of the country doesn't know what Wegmans is. But
let me just explain. Wegmans is from upstate New York, and it is basically the best grocery store you'll ever go to. I know the Publix people will probably dispute that, but it's pretty amazing.
Always.
And little fun known fact. I'll tell the fun known fact at the end. Go ahead.
All right. They've opened now in Manhattan a novel hybrid supermarket and food hall, signifying a shift in the grocery industry toward multifunctional, community-oriented spaces. The new Astor Place store in New York City features a unique blend of grocery and food hall concepts, offering some diverse food options such as a sushi bar, bakery, fish market, and they're sourcing selections directly from Japan. And they've even got a pre-made salad area. Their goal is to shift because of consumer preferences, wanting to eat out mainly on days where they do grocery shopping so they can have some ready-to-eat options as they get home. Seeing that shift has led to this change, according to Atul Sood, Chief Business Officer at Kitchen United. And look, just anecdotally, 9 times out of 10, when we go grocery shopping, we grab one of those rotisserie chickens.
Hey, that's a real value.
Slap
right
that
there.
down, and it's like this is a little pre-made thing that's easy to go on that day.
So Wegmans, I don't know if this is still the case, but as of several years ago, every single brick at every single store is self-funded. They don't borrow any money to do their expansion, which is crazy. But if you think about the reality of, like, I was thinking about this, Kyle, because when we visited Nashville last year, we went to the big food hall there downtown. What's it called?
Yes.
Food hall.
There's a lot of
food hall on Broadway.
Fifth and Broad.
Yeah.
Fifth and Broad.
Right.
Yes.
Fifth and Broad. Okay. So we went down there, and I was thinking about it when I was reading this article. I'm like, man, what if there was like a grocery element to that for all the people who live downtown? You can go there to eat and you can bring things home, especially a lot of downtown stuff. You don't have big kitchens to prepare food. It just makes a lot of sense for things like this. Wegmans has a history of doing pre-prepared food very, very well. And let me just, little hint, it is not cheap. Like if my family goes and like, if we decide not to do the rotisserie chicken, but instead we're like, oh, I want the Asian food, or I want the Italian food. You go home and you're like, that was $70.
Yeah. Well, it's interesting because it's actually, like, if you go look at it, it's a little bit of an expansion from, like, if you're used to a Whole Foods. Whole Foods does have some like hot foods and a salad bar and things like that. So there are options to buy food in the grocery store, but this is a little bit more expanded of a scenery. So I'm interested to see how deep they can go into this multi-communal space. I will say, we've got this amazing carniceria, little Hispanic grocery store here locally, and there's a taco shop in the back, and it is bar none the best taco shop in the area, and it is always packed. So it's not the first time it's been done, but interesting to see what happens as Wegman does it.
Oh, absolutely. And let's tie this back for a second. This is really an indicator of a company paying attention to the needs of the consumer and the shifting landscape of what consumers want while they're in a certain mindset. And I think as dealers, we can be paying attention to the mindset people are in, either when they're in the store or when they're at a certain part of the day, right? Whether it's the morning dropping off cars, picking up cars, etc. And also be paying attention to other spaces like this to look for opportunities to like be
insert yourself
and be present.
Yep.
Yeah, absolutely. Exactly. So whatever it is, it's been 600 episodes. Thank you for being here with us. We're going to do 600 more if we have anything to say about it. So get out there, pay attention to people, pay attention to one another, and we will see you here for 601 tomorrow.